And hey, Karl.
Hey, what's happening?
How's everything going?
Everything's fantastic. I just got done doing an episode of Who Are These Broadcasters with Eric Zane and Christian Blatt. And YouTube has let me know that we've had copyrighted material and it's been taken off of YouTube.
Oh, boy.
That's always fun.
Damn.
Yeah, we were playing the video box of Taylor Swift jumping up and down in slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, NFL.
Yeah. That's funny because we played it and we were debating. Yeah.
We wanted to use that yesterday, and Jim said, no, we'll get nailed on that one.
Anything in the NFL, we'll nail it.
I just thought, really? God, they're such assholes. I mean, when you consider how much money the NFL makes, you'd think they could be a little looser. But
Got to protect the shield.
They don't need any promotion.
Under the fair use clause of the copyright, I did not break any copyright, so I'm going to fight it, but it's annoying.
Yeah, they just don't want anybody to use their material.
Well, we made $170 last month from YouTube, so we get reamed on ad suitability.
We're going
constantly.
to Rumble.
You too, Drew. Every single video I put up, it says unsuitable for advertisers, so I have to click and tell them to do a manual review on it, which is supposed to take 24 hours. Nowadays, it's taking 3 to 4 days, and it always gets approved, but by then, all the views it's going to get, it already got. It's really frustrating.
Was there a time when you were not getting hit with that all the time?
Yeah, for a while, I was going a couple months straight where every single video was getting cleared, and all my videos are pretty much the exact same thing. So I don't know why some of them would be not suitable for advertisers and others are suitable. I know that there's certain words you definitely cannot say, like the C word, and I always make sure to bleep that out and make sure that if anyone says it, it's not on the show. So it's just annoying.
Wow. Well, I sent you over. There's a new podcast with Mike Tyson interviewing Prince Jackson, Michael's son, and I thought that might be something you might want to look at down the road, just in
I
case.
pulled some clips for it for today.
You did? Oh, no way! Oh, I'm psyched.
You tell me to jump, and I am like, how high, Captain?
Well, it was like 4:15. I thought you wouldn't have time to do it, but I thought maybe it'd be something you do for your show or for us next time. But was it a worthy listen?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I think we want to point out on here.
Okay, well,
for sure. It actually
is that where you want to start?
There. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
because I don't know who Mike Tyson's new co-host is. I looked up everywhere. It never tells you who it is. They're not in the description, not on their social media accounts. He's someone. He's met Michael Jackson, so I should know who he is, but I don't. Maybe you guys can help me out. But in my track number 13, they're talking about these clickbait titles that feature celebrities. And he's like, Prince Jackson, I'm sure you get this kind of stuff all the time. I think I saw this crazy clickbait video, and listen to what he says. There's no way this actually exists on YouTube.
Don't you hate that when you on YouTube and then both of you guys, there's like all these wild clickbait stories?
Yeah.
I think you were in Mars one time. They said that you landed in Mars and then you came back. Like, it's all kinds of stuff with you guys.
Yeah.
Man.
No. He's not the subject of anything because he doesn't do anything near the crazy shit his dad did. So he's pretty boring compared to even Paris.
Would you click a video that said that Michael Jackson's son went to Mars? Because I wouldn't think that was true for a second.
No, not at all. No,
really dumb.
Paris gets much crazier stuff than Prince. Prince is the Jackson that's really pretty boring and normal. I mean, I've never seen anything like that for him. So, it's adorable that guy thinks he read that, but I don't think he did.
Also, no idea who that co-host is. Never seen that guy before in my life. Was that the guy you were talking to? The one that was talking there?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
And he knows Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he was talking about a time that he hung out with Michael, and Mike Tyson knows Michael Jackson too. He's hung out at Neverland. So
how old were they?
That's pretty funny to think of Mike Tyson hanging out at Neverland.
Well, I mean, they were huge celebrities in the 80s, and so I guess they were buddies.
Yeah, they just wouldn't have the same interests, I wouldn't think, unless it was propofol or something drug-related, because, they don't have the same sexual interest. They don't have the same party interest. They would not want to watch the same stuff on TV. I can't imagine what they have in common.
So at one point, they're talking about how, obviously, Michael Jackson's skin turned white, as we all know. And Tyson says that he actually had a conversation with Michael about that, and Michael gave him the reason why he changed his skin color. This is my track number 14.
Everybody thought he was changing his skin because he wanted to be white. He was changing it because he wanted to glow. He wanted to be a light.
That's
He
the real
light. He
story?
wanted to shine, yeah.
Holy.
He told you that?
Huh?
Did he tell you that?
Him and Rodney, yeah. He wanted to glow. He's the light.
Interesting.
Light.
So why are you
I'm not
white?
gonna lie. When I first met Mike in Bahrain, and then he had like some white shorts. I didn't know his legs was gonna be white.
Yeah.
That bugged me out. I was like, "What?" That's the first thing. And he was like, "Hey," like he started laughing and
was
stuff.
like,
But I was with him for like 2 days, and he really like everything is like you said. He's like,
He understood life more than we thought he did.
What?
Who would think they want to be the light to glow? Who would think that?
No one, because that's not a thing.
That's not understanding life at all. That's ridiculous. And who's this guy? Who's this guy? Calling him Mike does not make it sound like you know him any better. Mike?
I don't know what the relationship is there, but I did think that was very interesting that Tyson is telling this guy's son. He's like, oh, no, the reason why he did that is because he wanted to glow on stage. He's got all the lights on him. He wanted to be white so he would glow.
Such
So
bullshit.
then right after that, Prince Jackson goes, okay, yeah, maybe. But also, there was a serious skin condition. This is my track 15.
When I was younger, he was always explaining to me, speaking about that, he had a skin condition called vitiligo. It may have been I don't know what the actual medical term is. I'm
so that
going to get into it.
So I'm hearing from you. That is real.
Yeah.
This is officially not a rumor. You had that.
Yeah, I think it was even on the autopsy
Where have you
report.
been?
Okay.
So there was things. I think the cause of it, it's up for speculation, but it's either vitiligo or some form of lupus that contributed to the vitiligo. And
What?
he had a lot of insecurity around kind of looking blotchy in his appearance. So he wanted to see if he could, smooth out his appearance to help with his security on his
Nah, he wanted to
physical
glow.
appearance. I think the glowing may have probably also had something to do with it because he was visionary, I guess, in the way that he thought, right?
Listen, man. It can't be a bigger God complex. It can't.
What are you talking about?
Well, that actually kind of makes sense to me because Jackson always claimed he had vitiligo, and that's why his skin color changed, and that's a real condition that happens to people that lose the pigment. And what was interesting there is that Prince said that he actually had procedures to smooth it out because he didn't like the blotchiness of it,
Right.
which I have not heard. Well, that's interesting.
Well, he
Basically
bleached.
confirming that he is bleaching.
Yeah, he has bleached, but the reason why he bleached was because of the vitiligo, or as Michael used to call it, vitiglio. Remember, he used to always
Yeah.
mispronounce it.
Which is why I mispronounce it today.
I'm not sure that Mike didn't like being lighter colored.
Of course
too.
he did.
It just seems like
A lot
there's
of
little
benefits.
something there. Yeah.
Ask
Just saying.
Prince about the nose. Maybe he'll have a good story about the nose.
Oh, yeah, sure. No. Anyway, last time you did the Mike Tyson show, Karl, Mike Tyson was so completely out of it. I mean, it was really hardly even part of the show. Was he better this time?
He's better now. This is he's got the new co-host. He's got a new set. He's doing better. In fact, I just saw Antonio Brown was a recent guest on his show. Now, I don't know how good that's going to be because he's probably going to be chummy with them. It's not going to be a real interview.
True.
I can look into it, but no, he was actually kind of engaged, having a real conversation. I understood most of the words he was saying.
Not all, but most.
Yeah. I don't think he understood that the last time you did it. I think Mike Tyson thought he was the guest and he was the host because he seemed to think it was all about him. And the guest was asking him questions. It was just so backwards, but it sounded like it's actually like a real podcast now.
And in fact, I got to say that Tyson said some things that I thought were interesting. In my track number 17, what he's talking about here is basically kind of what Stuttering John is doing, where it really doesn't matter why you get the views.
It depends how many people watching you now. It doesn't matter how many records you sell. It matters how many people, even if you fail, how many people are watching you fail. That's all that matters, how many numbers you have.
That's awful. That sucks, man. Nobody cares about quality.
Do we know how many people are watching this show, Karl? Did you happen to check?
Yeah, there was like 200,000 views of this already or something like that. It was huge.
Wow, that's great. Good for Mike.
I just think that was really funny. It's like, it doesn't matter if people are watching you because you suck, or it just matters if they're watching. Like, I'd rather people not watch me because I suck. I mean, that would matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty rare group, too, that you're so bad that people watch you. I think that's Stuttering John and just a few others.
Correct. So Prince is a little frustrated that, Mike was the king of pop, and he doesn't like that title would be given to anyone else. So he's talking about that.
It's not a real thing. It's not an official title.
I think it's so interesting to see, and what's frustrating for me is not necessarily like Harry Styles is a great artist.
No, I love him.
It's
he's
more
cool.
so about these media publications that try to take away the title that was really worked hard for and earned in a different time than we are today.
What?
You know, to your point, there's people in remote villages that don't have access to internet that know who Michael Jackson is. You know,
was he scared that they're going to go to a remote village and they're going to go, no. Harry Styles, king of pop. What are you talking about?
I also noticed from that clip that Mike Tyson is so close to the mic. He's breathing so hard. He's like,
Yeah, you can hear that in the back. Really
Michael
annoying.
Jackson made up the term king of pop.
He did,
It was not bestowed on him by royalty.
That's right, yeah.
In fact, I listened to Adam Curry on No Agenda, who used to be a VJ on MTV, and he tells you how whenever they referred to Michael Jackson on MTV, they were contractually obligated to say the king of pop, Michael Jackson, will be at the VMAs, except in the Vanguard Award or whatever it was. They always had to say the king of pop, Michael Jackson. It was in the contract for Michael Jackson to even appear on MTV. So it was not organic. It was very much a PR move.
Yeah.
Wow, so I wonder if he trademarked it. He probably did, right?
He probably did. It did stick. I mean, it stuck pretty well. And he, I mean, if anybody is the king of pop, he certainly would be one of the top candidates, I guess. So it's not the most misused title.
And I'll tease it in a little bit. We're going to be talking about the king of all media.
Yeah, that's another
Person.
Ah,
A
yes.
silly thing. And then but before we do that, so you just heard that we were talking about how Michael Jackson's music is popular throughout the entire world. And in my track 18 here, I don't think that Prince understands how when someone doesn't speak English and they enjoy a song, how that works.
that's what my father used to tell me when he'd go on tour in all these other countries. They really wouldn't speak English, but they knew word for word the lyrics to his songs. And he thought that was so powerful, and he used that as an example to show the power of music, because it could break down cultural and language barriers, because it was such a unifying message in all of his songs.
Did he ever tell you he was the best ever?
Yes. I mean, you know.
What?
The best what?
Ever. The best ever.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so funny.
I couldn't stop laughing at the beginning because just focus on Tyson's breathing again.
That's what my father used to tell me when he'd go on tour in all these other countries. They really wouldn't speak English, but they knew word for word the lyrics to his songs. Yes. And he thought that.
My God.
Now
I'm worried about Mike.
Oh my God. Get off the mic.
Yes. A producer could be back there hitting the mute button.
Of course.
Yeah.
The entire show, and it's very annoying. So I don't know if Prince realizes this, but they know the songs phonetically. It's kind of like how the singer from Journey was really good at singing songs, didn't understand what the words meant. These people who are singing with Michael Jackson, they don't actually understand the message. They're not looking at the man in the mirror. They just know phonetically. Those.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like an instrumental.
Right. It's like an instrumental. By the way, you guys were talking about instrumental hits yesterday on the show.
Do you have a favorite?
You actually pointed out, I'm sorry?
Do you have a favorite, Karl?
Well, you pointed out a bunch that the Isotopes actually play. We do Jessica, Allman Brothers. We do Green Onions, Booker T, Mission Impossible, Frankenstein. Feels So Good. You guys were ragging on my boy Chuck Mangione from Rochester. Down over from Minecraft.
He's from Rochester. Oh my God, I had no idea.
That was a hit in 1979.
It was a big hit. Yeah, it was number 4. Well, how about Time Is Tight by Booker T? That's a great one.
That is a great one. We don't do that one. You talked about Star Wars. We do the Cantina theme from Star Wars. I don't know if that.
Oh, wow.
That's a fun one. But it was cool that you guys were delving into some instrumental classics.
Well, you forget how many they are, and they're not all like novelty or theme songs either.
I just forgot.
Well, right, but a lot of them are theme songs. We did an entire show that was all just TV and movie theme songs.
Oh, cool. That's kind of fun.
I just had I forgot so many of them were big hits, not just, charted, but they're like number 1 or 3 or 5. I mean, there were so many of them. Amazing.
We closed with Frankenstein. That song always goes over great. There's the big drum solo in it. There's all the different parts in it, but it's also been featured in tons of different movie soundtracks. And I found out the reason why is because it's cheap.
Really? I wonder why.
Good old Hollywood making the right decisions.
Artie Lang has it in his movie Beer League twice.
It's such a great song, though.
Why would Edgar Winter let that thing go away cheap? I don't get it. It was a hit.
Working for him, though. People still know it. It came out, what, 72? People still know it?
Well, I guess, volume pays. If it's in a lot of movies, then you're making as much money than if a guy charges more and it's just in a couple movies. So, I mean, there's a theory behind that, and it does keep the song alive.
You know why it's called Frankenstein?
I don't.
That song was all these different parts that were never put into any other songs, and they just pulled it all together and just made it a song.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that was all shit that was just like on the scrap heap. So why not? It's a hit. Cool.
Oh, wow. That's pretty sweet.
That's kind of brilliant.
It's a good story, yeah. I'm scared to play because I don't want
tell me
YouTube to nick it.
Oh yeah, no, they'll knock us off in a second. No, continue with Prince. I want to hear more of Mike Tyson's breathing.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's all the clips I have for Hotboxin with Mike Tyson.
Can you believe that nobody? I mean, that's the problem when you have a producer who doesn't have the authority to go, Mike, you're breathing really hard, and it's really hard not to hear you breathing really hard on the microphone when everybody else is talking. It's very distracting. And they'd rather just let it go than say anything.
But why doesn't Tyson know that he's breathing too hard? I mean, come on, a little bit of that's on him.
Yeah, he's been around enough microphones. He should know better, but.
Mike Tyson was on Logan Paul's show. We played this on WATP months ago. And he decided at the beginning of the episode to eat like 1/8 of mushrooms. So he takes dry-ass mushrooms, shoves the whole 1/8 in his mouth, and chews for the next 20 minutes. The guy offers him water. He goes, nope. He's just chewing on these disgusting dry mushrooms.
On the microphone.
On the mic. Oh, it's
yeah, it was
brutal.
awful. Are you in Florida, Karl?
No, I'm home. Is the internet bad? I feel like I'm lagging today.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's kind of bad.
You want to disconnect
know
and
why.
reconnect? Do you think that matters?
We could try that if it's.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit worse, I think.
Yeah, just do it real quick.
Go ahead. I'll do a commercial while you do that.
See if that's any better.
So I have a new computer.
That's
I don't think
worse.
I've been on the show like this since I got this, and I needed to update my version of Zoom. So hopefully this is better now.
So far.
We'll see.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
we'll see.
Not at all. I changed our audio settings here because I thought maybe that would help too, but apparently not.
Well, you on to Howard now?
Yes, Howard Stern on his show yesterday responded to the tweet, or whatever it is, Truth Social Truth, that our boy Trump wrote. I know you guys covered this the other day.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh boy.
let me just remind you what Trump wrote, because this is what Howard's responded to. It says, the real Howard Stern is a weak, pathetic, and disloyal guy who lost his friends and much of his audience. Until just recently, I haven't heard his name mentioned in years. I did his show many times in the good old days, and then he went woke, and nobody cares about him any longer. I don't know what they really pay him, but it shouldn't be much. His influence is gone, and without that, he's got nothing. Just a broken weirdo, unattractive both inside and out, trying like hell to be relevant.
I would agree with most of what he said.
Yeah. The unattractive inside and out is also what he used to describe, what's her name?
Hillary Clinton? Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
The one who
Rosie
sued him.
O'Donnell,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, other than questioning what he makes, because I think
Rosie
Howard
is a loser.
I think Howard makes $80 million a year, whatever they agreed to pay him. I'm sure they're paying him, and that probably really bothers Trump that he makes a lot of money. But it probably would bother Howard that Trump makes so much money too. So they're probably even there. But I think most of what he said beside that was pretty right on.
What a bunch of children, those two.
Well, the reason why this came out is because Howard declared that he's woke on his show last week. And so all the right-wing media picked up on this and went, Howard says he's woke. And so that's what Trump is saying. That's what he's responding to. So I want to play my track number one. Howard doesn't even know this happened. He doesn't know that Trump sent this out. And he just starts getting friends reaching out to him with like vague support for some reason.
Oh, it's going to be beautifully awkward.
I don't know if you heard about this. It was so fucking bizarre to me. All of a sudden, friends started to write me on Saturday, I guess it was. Again, my days might be wrong. Maybe it was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Friends started to write me, hey, whatever happened to people having opinions in this country, and I support you, fuck the haters, blah, 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 I support you. And I was like, something weird must be going on.
Yeah.
Something strange is going on. Yeah. I was like, what? And then I heard from like another friend who wrote me an email and said, hey, man, I hope you're okay. I love you. And
He's not dead.
I really want you to go after Donald Trump. But then again, I don't want you to go after Donald Trump because that's what he wants. And I went, what the fuck is going on? So I was talking to my daughter, Emily, and I said, people are writing me all this weird stuff. In fact, I even called a friend and I go, something going on? My friend goes, no, I'm just telling you I support. Like, he didn't want to be the one to break it to me that Donald Trump had tweeted about me or X'd me.
Bullshit. I don't believe that at all.
That doesn't make sense, does it? That your friends would all be like, hey, just want to let you know, hey, we support you. Oh, why? What do you mean? Nothing. It's fine. Just want to let you know.
Wait, he's that not on top of things that he wouldn't know about this tweet, which is trending on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Right.
he absolutely knew about it. I think he's trying to act like, this is such not a big deal to me on Sunday. I was just going about my life. I didn't even know what people were talking about.
That sounds.
I was just about ready to leave, Robin. Yeah, right.
Doesn't make sense because it also makes it sound like he's not a guy that you can talk real to. Like if his friends really are like this, they're afraid of him.
Right.
Well, that probably is true.
But even worse,
That could be true.
it makes it sound like his friends pay more attention to Twitter and what's going on. I mean, because that was a
they
pretty
should do
big
the show.
story. Yeah. Why is he doing a radio show, or why is he still Mr. Big Shot, king of all media, if he doesn't even pay attention to what's trending on Twitter? That's ludicrous.
All right, so that's the way he sets it up. So now we're going to get into it. He's going to respond. Now he's seen this post and he's going to start responding to it.
Trump was writing that I'm a broken weirdo and that I'm not loyal to him, which is bizarre. I mean, I don't work for you. Why would I be loyal to you? I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about.
But you were friends.
I know what he means, because he described Trump as one of his best guests for years. So you would think he would have some degree of loyalty to him as a great guest. I certainly feel that way about people who've been great on our show.
But I don't even know that Trump meant he was disloyal to him specifically. He just said that he's a weak, pathetic, and disloyal guy. You could describe someone as being disloyal without saying that he was disloyal to me specifically.
But we can all agree that he's a broken weirdo.
We can all agree on that, obviously.
What? He didn't dispute that he's a broken weirdo.
Personally, I think that Howard's disloyal to his audience. I don't know if that's what Trump meant, but there was a time, I mean, Howard has switched on every single thing he used to believe in and tell his audience. And so for a guy like me, I go, yeah, he is disloyal. He's telling me I'm supposed to like Rosie O'Donnell now? Like, no, we hate Rosie O'Donnell, right, Howard? Right? What happened?
No, that is so strange. The people that he used to appeal to, who loved that edgy Howard, who always made things fascinating and interesting, and certainly by the edge of your pants, is so gone right now, and he's trying to appeal to all the people who would never dream of liking him before. It's like he's trying to completely reverse his audience, and it's really strange, and it's fucked up for people that did like him. It's like, oh, so he doesn't give a shit about the loyal people who listened to him for 30 years and loved what he was doing, and now he's saying, oh, that person was terrible. This is the great person now. Now that it's not fashionable to be that way, and you could actually get yourself in trouble, now he doesn't really want to be that guy.
Right. And also, he likes having celebrities over to his house or going on vacation with celebrities and Jennifer Aniston and bragging about it on the show. And he used to be so anti-Hollywood. He would make fun of all these people all the time. But now he's in their club with Jimmy Kimmel and all his friends. He's completely on board with all the Hollywood celebs, which is just the opposite of what he used to be.
No, it's positively revolting that he is now a safe space for people like Jennifer Aniston to come on his show and know that they're not going to be anything awkward or difficult. He's exactly what he didn't used to be.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. So annoying. So, all right. So now we're going to address the thing where Howard said, I'm woke. So he immediately starts walking this one back. My track number 3. Apparently, even though he declared that he's woke, he doesn't even know what it means, everyone.
A couple of days ago, I went on the air and said that I'm woke. Now, I tell you the truth, I don't know what woke means, but to me, I said on the air, and by the way, when I said this on the air, I never ever thought anyone would care that I'm saying this. It shocks me.
He's smarter than that.
How the dumbest shit that I talk about becomes somehow news. It's weird.
You're smarter than that, Howard.
Because the most unwoke person in the world became woke in his own words. He doesn't understand why that matters. Really?
Right.
I don't buy
He's trying
that.
to pretend. That was just a quick comment I made. It doesn't even mean anything. Nobody even knows what it means. And it is true that woke means a lot of things to a lot of people. But basically what it comes down to is it's about racial and social justice. It's SJWs. And I think the problem people have with SJWs is that there's no real clear goal as to how we finally get social justice. I mean, Asians can't get into the college. Is that progress? Because that's what happens with SJW. That's why people don't like wokeness creeping into our society as much as it is.
Well, plus everybody's questioning, the tiniest, inferences in people's comments or things that somebody said 20 years ago. All of a sudden, they're under fire for it. It's ridiculous. It's so over the top crazy. I think well-meaning people just find it to be completely insane, like virtual insanity. And he's saying, I'm one of them. And he knows full well what it means. He's so full of shit to say, I don't even know what it means. Why is he so full of shit all of a sudden?
Oh, and he doubles and triples down on this. So he starts defining what woke means to him, which is not what woke means at all. So that makes it very convenient. If I came on here, I'm like, I'm a neo-Nazi, which means I like the Buffalo Bills and I like getting a beer with my buddy. Like, no, that's not what that means. You can't just change the definition of it. Someone's going to clip that. Anyway, track number 4 is he brings up, transgender people.
I don't feel like transgender is being shoved down my throat at all. Honestly, I don't see any transgender people anywhere where I am.
Go anywhere.
Yeah, he's at home. Right, exactly. He sees Beth. He sees his cook. He sees his maid.
Yeah, and
he sees a bunch of cats.
If he actually was in New York, you'd see plenty of them.
That's so preposterous.
That's the thing. I don't think Howard's understanding that if you have children in school, every single child now has classmates who are transgender. And I think that's what's kind of freaking people out. They're like, I grew up with 0 transgender people, and now 4 of my kids' friends are transgender. How is that possible? What's going on right now?
And for Howard to suggest that he doesn't know he wouldn't know a transgender person, really, come on. He used to make fun of transgender people.
Yeah, he had him in the studio.
He discussed every form of sexuality that existed and, either tried to explain it or experience it in his show or whatever, and suddenly say, I wouldn't even know what it looked like. How is he so naive all of a sudden? I mean, I can't get over how full of shit he sounds.
It's on the defensive, that's why.
Well, right. And I just think it just shows how out of touch he is to say, like, I never even come in contact with transgender people. I don't think it's being shoved down our throat. And really, and this is my opinion, maybe you guys disagree. I think what people are mostly upset about is if you look at children's entertainment, children's programming, they are pushing this agenda hard. And it's weird.
I see it in my daughter's cartoons.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to watch more of their stuff together.
A lot of it's just background. You don't really notice it. And then you're like, wait a minute. Oh, okay. 2 dads.
Like, what are they watching?
It's just stuff on like Disney Junior, stuff like that. It's these small things.
But it's also in the schools. It's also with the teachers. I mean, I've seen enough TikTok videos to see what's going on. Anyway, not the point. Moving on. Now, Howard is going to start arguing that other things are woke that certainly are not woke. My track number 5 here.
But I happen to say, I guess I'm woke because proudly I will say, I love the vaccine. I was the first one online Friday for it at CVS. I got it. I feel grateful to this country for providing vaccine to me. I feel protected by my country.
Okay.
What the fuck? Is he referring to the booster, the new booster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's first in line for the new booster, for the 9th booster? Jesus Christ.
But also, that has nothing to do with being woke. Can everyone remember that Operation Warp Speed was Trump's thing?
Yeah.
The vaccines are not a woke thing. It's not anti-Trump to get a vaccine.
Well, questioning them would be unwoke, I guess. So I don't know. Whatever. I just, to be bragging about being the first person to get the 4th or 5th booster. I mean, it just sounds pathetic.
That's part of his redefining woke, right? I would assume.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And now I have another example of that. My track number 6. This is just so dumb.
I love gay rights. I support people getting ahead. I don't know. I like Social Security. I like people getting Medicaid. I don't know what woke exactly means, but I guess the opposite of woke to me is asleep, and I think I'm awake.
Okay, Grandpa Howard.
Wow.
You know, I'm woke because I'm not asleep. Like, okay, that's not what this means at all. You know that.
Well, he used to, I think, take pride in sounding pretty bright, and he sounds pretty fucking stupid right now.
Stop saying
Social Security and Medicaid has nothing to do with any of this. This is not part of the conversation.
No, not at all. Not one bit. Never. That's the first time.
So he's going to incorporate more of things that are not part of the woke conversation at all. My track number 7.
And I even think Fauci is a great person, not a good person, a great person. Why? A medical doctor who devoted his life to trying to prevent viruses and pandemics coming into this country. So I guess I'm woke.
So let me ask you guys, and I don't know if Mark's going to roll his eyes at me, but we all know that Fauci is responsible for coronavirus or COVID-19, right?
Well, it certainly...
I don't know if it's mainstream or not.
It certainly appears that way, Karl, yes. I will agree with you.
So, Obama put an end to gain-of-function research in the U.S. in 2014 because it's too dangerous, and frankly, it's trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. So Fauci funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. This has all come out. The emails, the documents are out there because of FOIA requests. I don't know that CNN's talking about it, but I know it's true. And I know that when Rand Paul questioned him about it, Fauci's response was, "I am science." That was a douchebag moment right there. So this whole thing, like Fauci's a man. Like, hold on a second. Fauci's a great man. This is insane. What are you talking about? Also, there was a time when public servants didn't make $11 million. Fauci's a very wealthy man. He's just like, he just dedicated his life to helping others. God shucks. What a great guy.
No, he just sounds absolutely, I don't know. I can't believe it's the same person, honestly, because I really did really appreciated what he did and how entertaining he was even 10 years ago. And I just feel like this is not the same person. He's had a head transplant or a brain transplant or something. It's so strange. He's not there anymore. Or he's just trying to sell us on something. And if that's the case, I mean, wow, what bullshit.
It's a weird calculation that he's made deliberately. And we kind of saw it with that meeting that that got out where he was telling, we got to get A-list celebrities. We're going to change the way we do our show.
Pelican
so
brief.
He was starting to make those moves where he's deliberately changing who he is and how he presents himself.
Yeah, and you know, in that same meeting, Karl, we were debating his audience because Trump was saying, I don't think his audience is what he says it is or what he thinks it is or what it used to be. And it's obviously not. But in that meeting, he says, tell everyone 20 million people listen. Just if they ask, say 20 million. And eventually the word will get around. It's 20 million. And it's just a number we'll use because we don't know. So, yeah, that was when they were going to give all these great gifts to all their guests, and they were just going to focus on getting the greatest guests, and really nothing else mattered other than getting the finest guests and kissing their asses.
You worked in radio forever. Ratings books are so important because that was, whether or not the methodology worked, that was the truth. So if you said this is the audience for this show and this show is beating that show or they're performing better in this demographic, you had that data by a third party that was backing it up. Howard going in and saying, let's just say there's 20 million people is insane that he could get away with that.
No, it's I've never heard of anyone being able to get away with that. And honestly, I think I heard that number and I think I kind of believed it because I wouldn't believe if you said something like that on radio, you would be delisted from Arbitron. Because they would say, if you even mention a rating book or, hey, fill out a rating book for me or fill out your Nielsen book or anything like that would get you delisted from Arbitron. You would lose tons of money by saying anything remotely like that. So the fact that he's on satellite, and apparently you can say that, it's really strange, but it's also, I'm just surprised at what a huckster and bullshitter he turns out to be.
Probably the Love Sponge got in a lot of trouble for that.
Oh yeah. I think somebody got a hold of a book and told him, and he's like, just fill in Bubba, from 12 midnight to 12 midnight, and I think the guy did.
Well, Howard has the advantage of not being broadcast, right?
Yeah, he's not in broadcast radio, so he doesn't have to live up to those standards. So they can if everyone just says 20 million enough, a lot of people will believe it. And I don't think he even says a number anymore, because I think he knows that number is much, much lower than what his biggest fans think it should be or would be, and so he just doesn't say anything and just relies on, because when you have large guests like that, I think a lot of people will believe that you are larger than life, and he's doing something that's kissing so much ass that he can get the largest guests, the biggest people. And I heard Steve-O complaining the other day about, God, I used to be in Howard's Zone. I used to be on there all the time. I loved going on Howard Stern, and I don't make the cut anymore, and I just can't believe it. And Steve-O's a fucking great guest. I don't in anyone's book. But that's Howard today.
Howard turned his back on a lot of the great guests like Gilbert Gottfried. People talk about that. Gilbert was on the show all the time, always brought it. Everyone loved him, fan favorite. And then Gilbert just wasn't allowed on the show anymore. Once, Marcy Turk took over and they wanted A-list celebrities all the time. No longer you could have Steve-O or a guy like Gilbert's. I think that's what pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, and Steve-O was talking about how he brought it. He knew it was a big deal to be on the show, so he would staple his sack to his leg or something. He'd do something really dramatic to be on the show, to live up to being on the Howard Stern show. But now he doesn't get invited. First he was on the, the after show? It's like they would dump him on the after show, and then suddenly he wasn't even good enough for the after show. So it's over, apparently.
Yeah, I know. But Steve-O also admitted that he was on a lot of drugs at the time, so I don't think he felt those staples going through his
Maybe not.
Probably not. But still, he was a good guest on there for sure. All the
great.
Guys.
Yeah, he was on 16 times, Karl. 16 times. That's a really, really good guest. And now 0. Do you have any more Howard cuts?
Yeah, so let me play this for you, because Howard starts playing clips of right-wingers describing what woke means, and they're all saying different things. So Howard's point is like, no one knows what woke means. But then he lets this slip in there, and I don't know why he did this in my track 8.
This is going to be one of those moments that goes viral.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay? It's true. It's true.
Wow.
And who even knows what that means?
I've never heard a president say shit before. That's amazing.
You guys are just finding this out now? Robin, really? You didn't know he was president for 4 years, really? Okay.
Well, are they not aware of Bud Light or what's a Target, or now it's Dove? I don't know if the Dove thing, is the Dove thing going anywhere?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big deal. But seriously, Bud Light, this giant company, was almost destroyed by being overly woke, and he really doesn't understand that.
Oh no, Howard in fact says he applauds Bud Light for having Dylan Mulvaney on a can.
Oh, really?
He doesn't understand it at all.
Well, he's apparently not one of their shareholders then.
No, definitely not. So track number 9. And so Howard's declaring that no one knows what it means. So now he's going to come up with his own definition of what woke is, because he's declared himself woke. So now he's got to redefine what it is.
Woke. No one knows what it means. I don't even know what it means. But I'm assuming what it means, that if you've got any fucking brain in your head and you happen to care about shit, this idea of politicians running around, the country's too woke, that isn't the job of politicians.
What the fuck are you? I'm seriously, he's just completely lost me. Woke to him should mean that's what could get me fucking canceled for all the shit I used to do. If he wasn't on the left, does he not realize that he would be so done right now if he was a conservative?
He has immunity for some reason.
Yeah, because he's on the left, because he's a big part of the left, because he has Hillary Clinton on. He has to know that. He sounds so, I mean, he sounds a combination of completely out of it, like just old, and maybe staying home is making him get older. But honestly, he must read more than that. I can't believe he's that out of touch. It's just not even. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
You pick up on that too. He goes, to me, woke means you're a smart guy. Okay, well, good for you.
Well, this much I know. He never goes back on anything. He never apologizes for anything. So he's never going to say, I'm not woke, or I apologize for saying I'm woke, because he never does that. Even with blackface, he didn't say, I might not do that now, but he never will fully admit he's wrong. So I guess.
Changing the definition of what it is in order to make it so it's not bad. So this is my track number 10. What's going to happen here? And Drew, if you still listen to the show at all, this happens all the time. All of a sudden you hear a knock on the door. This is this new thing they do. And then a celebrity impressionist will come in and he'll have a scripted conversation with a celebrity. But it starts with the knock on the door. And I think this is one of the things that the old Stern fans hate, because it used to be, there was nothing scripted on the Howard Stern show for decades. And then all of a sudden they have the staff of writers and they started writing this shit. So this is how Trump comes on the show.
All of a sudden Trump saw me being discussed on all his conservative media things, and he got charged up. And I'm
they're supposed to be talking about him. How dare you?
Yeah, right. I stole the excitement for a minute or two. But I know who this is. It's Trump. I know it's going to be Trump. I know it. I know he's going to start in with me. Trump's going to start in with me.
Are you going to answer?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, you better save the door.
I know. He's going to break the door down. This guy's obsessed with me.
Hello, broken weirdo Howard. Ugly on the inside, ugly on the outside, boobs longer than your dick.
Good one.
That's their impersonator.
Yes.
That's not the best Trump I've heard. But by the way, that's
still the best part of that clip.
That sound effect of the door opening, that's like 100-year-old sound effect record. They can't do better than that.
I kind of appreciate that, though. Picking a really bad sound effect.
I have door sound
If you're
effects.
going to use one, you might as well use it.
Oh, I got
if
this
it
one.
was to be ironic or something, I suppose, but it just sounds really hokey to me. It sounds like the kind of show he always made fun of, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is the problem with it. So I'm going to play a couple of examples of this script. And what's so sad is that the script's in front of everyone. So you can see the Trump impersonators reading it. Howard sees what's happening at the same time, so he's reacting to it. And these jokes are so lame.
Get over
Listen, you don't support me, but I got plenty of friends on Truth Social who are not woke. Being woke means you have a very small penis. Look, I have Rudy Giuliani, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Carrie Lake. Now, these are quality people that are real friends. Oh, and by the way, how is XM paying you, by the way? In gum, cases of hairspray, sunglasses? People are saying you're being paid in bottle caps, which is such a woke thing. However many bottle caps you're getting per show, it should be much, much less.
That's a terrible Trump.
It sounds like a Bad Morning Zoo, seriously, from 1980s or something.
I love that they let the jokes breathe. Right? I mean, it was just.
Oh, that's the thing too. They have no confidence in the writing.
Yeah.
You could tell
Yeah.
because he's just trying to shoehorn in. What do they pay you in? Sunglasses or hairspray or bottle caps? Like what?
Yeah, it was just a firing line of really bad jokes.
Do you have any idea who's writing for the show now? Because it sounds really grim.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of writers on the show. I have no idea who's writing these bits. I don't know if it's the guy who's doing the impersonation or not. Because for a while there, they were pre-recording the guy who does the impersonation to make sure they don't screw up.
Oh, Jesus.
I think some of the guys don't even trust to be live on the air. But
that's good. Screw-ups are good, man.
No,
one more example of this, Mark. It's just like what you were just saying. They try to shoehorn in so many jokes because you can tell they have no confidence in the joke itself. So rather than have one or two good punchlines, let's have a dozen punchlines and none of them work. They just
it's the Robin Williams method of comedy.
Yes.
Just fire a bunch out there. All right.
Being woke is the worst thing that you can be, Howard. Right behind a chick with small tits. Both very, very gross. Very, very gross.
You're saying being woke is worse than being a chick with small tits?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, when you're woke, you hate white people, which is crazy because we're the best at everything except for math. But that's why we always sit near the Asian guy. That's called a life hack. Nothing wrong with that. When you're non-woke like me, you know, slavery happens, but it doesn't ruin your day because they got learning job skills, which is very important. And woke is a fun word, Howard. You can mean absolutely anything you want. If you hire a black guy at your job, that's woke. If your dick gets caught in your zipper, also woke. If you try to fart quietly in public but accidentally comes out loud, ultra woke.
You know, it's not funny, but you know, I get it.
Wow.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't believe this is material he will allow to be associated with his name after all the shit he made fun of all these years. All the people like me that were half scared to death when he came into town because you knew he was going to attack the shit out of you. And gee, are we doing anything that's really that vulnerable? And he's doing all that stuff now.
It's so bad. And you wonder why no one's listening to his show anymore. I don't even think it has a lot to do with his politics. His show's just not good.
I'm really tempted. I have to listen to it soon because I personally am having a hard time believing it's this bad. And if it's this bad, I kind of want to exult in it a little bit. I mean, we used to fear this guy. He's terrible.
So Vinny, my buddy Vinny Paulino texted me just a little while ago. He says, Stern is discussing jerking off to trans porn on today's show. Thought you would want to know. Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for, I'll check that out.
Yeah, I saw that on the subreddit too. People are already popping off about that. Why is he watching trans porn?
Oh,
I knew it.
Is that his way of being woke? Is that also woke?
Wait, was he successful? I mean, because that's a whole nother issue, right?
The fact that he's trying.
I mean, you can be woke, but maybe his penis isn't woke, right? I can't have a woke penis.
All right, Karl, what's on Who Are These Podcasts this week?
All right, so we did the Osbournes podcast live in Detroit. We decided to tackle episode 2 of the Osbournes podcast. That's the main thing we're hitting on the current episode that's out for people to check out right now. I do want to say, guys, because I haven't talked to you since this, such a great time in Detroit. Thank you all for everything you guys did to make it fantastic. The live show obviously was great. The Tigers game, the Michigan game. Matt Riley screwed up my bet, which I'm still mad at him about because at the tailgate, I said, I'm taking Bowling Green with 40.5. And he goes, you can't do that. You can't do that. I will say this. He did say take the under, which was smart. But then he talked me into doing a teaser play where I was moving 6.5 points, with Michigan and then with the over-under. So that didn't work out for me. So I was all set to have the winning bet in place. And actually, after that first half, I would have been like, okay, I've already nailed this bet. But Matt Riley screwed that up. Other than that, Matt's a great guy, and I had a great time hanging out with him and all you guys.
You won everything else over the weekend. That's all I can say, because that was a dynamite show, and I just was marveling. God, how does anyone sit on stage for that long? Because you were up there a long time. That's
especially
a lot
with no pizza. Yeah,
yeah, especially when the pizza didn't show up on time magic bag.
Especially when somehow my wife and her friends are eating the pizza in the green room when they're not invited back there.
Oh, yeah.
After the show, I go backstage and I don't recognize anyone except for Matt Riley, who's holding court. I was looking for Mark with the drop. Does the story have an end?
It was a very long story.
Oh boy. Well, it was a winner, and everybody had a great time too. Everybody I heard from had a fantastic time, and people had good feedback on the video that went up too, and the audio that went up on iTunes. It was all around just A++. So I can't say enough for it, and congratulations.
Well, thank you guys so much, and congratulations to Brandon for having a very hot wife.
Yeah,
thank you, Karl.
Absolutely.
It's very nice of you,
and for having hot friends too.
Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
I thought they were twins, but they were just hot sisters. So anyway, all right, Karl, we'll talk to you real soon.
All right, see you guys.
Have a good one.
Later, Karl.